in the best interest of a nation's economy. Welcome to Talking Figures, where we untangle the complexities of the business world. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me this 24th day in the month of July 2024. This month was really fast, wasn't it? My name is Chioma Ezenwafo, and I'm your host on Talking Figures. So, we're turning our business spotlight today. Everyone is discussing it. So, if you haven't without saying it, when I said free market, monopolies, what came to your mind? Of course, it's the Dangote situation. But we're doing it a little different on the show today. We're going to be looking at the marketing systems of nations and what's suitable for an economy like Nigeria's. I mean, Nigeria has seen what Ndibo will call Oche and Awful, and it continues to try to make sure it doesn't drown. And amidst it all lies the capitalist and lies all of the struggles of businesses and everyone trying to keep their heads above the waters. What is it that can work for a nation like Nigeria? What marketing system can work for us? The debate has been on all through this week. I mean, especially because the world's richest man, Africa's billionaire, Dangote, Aliko Dangote, has been on. He's making several media appearances talking about our economy from different angles, especially because he's having a dispute with the federal government regarding his refinery. That's like the short version of the story, because that's not really our focus. The question is, what's the best marketing system for a nation like Nigeria? Because he's been accused of being a monopolist, and he says, I am not a monopolist. In fact, I am not going to touch the steel industry anymore in Nigeria so that I will not be accused. The debate has been on. Almost all WhatsApp groups are talking about it. He is not. He's a capitalist, just too extreme. And so many other companies. Everyone has just put their teeth on this conversation. So let's dive in. It's Talking Figures, the 92.3 Nigeria Info. Also, I have my guest. Yes, he's here in the studio. He is no other person. No, think about it. Think about it. If you're in River State, who do you think I should bring to have a conversation like this? Just think about it. Think about it. Of course, he's a veteran journalist. Someone I would say that perhaps he's been there when all the happenings in the business sector and the business world has happened, when businesses were bought over and taken over and all of what happened. He saw them happen. The predictions are always correct on the show. Of course, you know who I'm talking about by now. Veteran journalist and regional editor, BusinessDay newspaper, Mr. Ignatius Chukwu. Thank you so much for making time to be here today.
Thank you, Choma. The way you presented me, I can buy a gubernatorial form.
And you're dressed for the occasion.
And try my luck.
And you're dressed for the occasion, actually. You look good.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, in case you're wondering what he looks like, we're live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. You can go check out the suits. He ain't coat. It's suits that he's wearing. He's looking really good. Thank you for being here again, sir.
Thank you. If you just... After my wife's bereavement, some friends said I was looking terrible. I was dying myself. Mm-hmm. So they forced me to leave again. They went and made suits for me, forced me to look like this.
You've got such great friends you have. Such great friends.
I thank God for them. If you say this is okay, then thank them, not me.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them, please.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so as is the tradition on the show, we get into the segment just before we get to the big topic. We look at what's going on in the world of business as of now. And so as I'm talking to you, I am getting to newspapers to look at the three top big stories in the world of business. What am I seeing if I click the business section of, say, Vanguard newspaper? I see a story here saying that Nasima orders key as interest 2.7%. That happened today. What went through your mind when that happened?
Honestly, I was scared. When I learned they were going in and, BusinessDay used to predict what they will do. So when the predictions came out, the day before said that there will be another hike in the CRR, CPL, the MRRs, and all those numbers. All of them boiled down to, are they increasing interest rate or decreasing interest rate? When they increase the rate, what it will mean is that loans will be scarcer and the rates will be higher. And the first thing that will come to your mind is that, where will SMEs, where will they go to? Because if fintechs, some people are giving at 45%, some are giving at 35%. So the more they hike it, the more the loans will be more expensive. The more they'll be expensive. And the more they're expensive, the more businesses will lose if they take loan and all of that. So if inflation is flying at so rate and the interest rate is flying at so rate, then what will now mean that when you make profit, do you think it will be paper profit? Because if inflation is higher than your profit rate, it go hard. So the first thing I was scared, and even when it came out this morning, I said, what will be when the banks translate it to loan interest rate, what it will be? Because the one that time raised it twice, it goes from 25 to 35%, and the stocks lenders were going to afford it. So I'm scared of hearing how much interest rate now be in the real world of land borrowing. And so all they do is, remember we were here some months ago. You wanted me to endorse the C promise that they were going to bring inflation to below 20%.
Yeah.
You're pinning me to agree. I told you, unless I saw the plan, the plan on what forced inflation to go high. So if you don't touch it, any money you release into the economy to bring down cost of dollar, bring down inflation, it will sink. It will go in and dissipate and disappear. So unless you touch the fundamentals, and what are the fundamentals? That our export must pass our import. Until you do that, whatever you pump, it will fire brigade. So that's why I refuse to agree. And between then and now, we are now at 34 point. Instead of coming down to below 20, they promise us. The promise, I don't want financial institutions to make promises that are political or joint politicians to make promises. On what framework, upon what framework will we bring? Do you know what 1% in GDP means? Do you know what 1% in inflation rate means? 1%. Because aggregate of everything. Before you shift it to 1% down, 1%, 2%, 2% down, to get to 20, from 30 to 20. So, unless you are returning us to 20 years ago. So, in summary, what I'm saying, that then I was afraid of agreeing with you. I don't endorse people anyhow. I don't. Make they say, Mr. Chukwu said, if I say anything, it will happen. And if I'm not sure, I keep quiet. So, I was not sure, so I kept quiet. And now you see where we stand. That between January and now, we are at 34 points instead of coming to 25 or 20 or below 20 as a promise. Thank you.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on it. It's always really sad when we look at our inflation rate and how the numbers are just not getting any better. Anyway, look at the story. The CBN governor, Olayemi Cardoso, is saying that these investment accounts in banks are susceptible to fraud. Why are we talking about this?
See, as government is looking for everywhere, pension fund, dormant stock, all those shares you bought that are lying idle. What he is saying is that they are susceptible to fraud. And I hope you know that ordinary transfer dormant account, transfer holding account, warehousing, I sent money to Choma. It has left my bank. Choma has not got it. It's not in Choma's account. It's hanging somewhere in the air. They call it a warehouse. So many Nigerians, including me, don't follow up.
Okay.
If they don't follow up, the money will hang there. There are people watching the money. They are watching it. It's gathering. More and more coming. It has not reached destination. If you were Catholic, it is in the purgatory.
Oh, yeah.
So if your money is in the purgatory, it has not gone to heaven or hell, but it's not back here on earth. So during that time, when they look at it, it's getting into billions. It's attractive. Yes. What about if you redirect it small than that account? Now, you now work out the percentage of people calling to make sure that their money come out of the purgatory. The Catholics will pray for, they will be praying for the soul of the departed. So until they will pray them out of the purgatory into heaven, right?
Yes.
So people are now, they will check, the bankers check the rate of rescue of this money. So if they check, say, in a year, not up to 50% of this money is rescued, it means that more than 50% of this money is trapped there. So it becomes a place you can go and do mining. I hope you hear about a banker who left with 41 billion and ran away.
Yeah.
So some of them in their banks, so they watch this kinds of money. So if money in on transit transfer can be stolen like this, can be susceptible to fraud, is it dormant account that is so dormant that even the owner doesn't even know?
And actually, we've had a lot of stories of people, Nigerians and diaspora, who send money to Nigerian banks and keep it there, hoping to just walk there and come here sometime to enjoy their money. And they get there and they see 0.00 naira, and no one can explain what happened to the money. So now the CBN is saying, see all those money in dormant account, transfer them to us for safekeeping. We're going to look at other stories in the business world, but let's go on a short break. When we come in, we'll do maybe one more story under this segment, which you call Market Watch, by the way, and then we get into the big story of the day, talking about free markets, monopolies, capitalism, what's in the best interest of nations, of Nigeria's economy specifically. So, when you look at the Dangote situation, if you follow the debate, if you haven't, when we get back from the break, I'll bring you up to speed, and then we delve even deeper. My name is Choma Ezewa, from your host on Talking Figures, and my guest here is Mr. Ignatius Chukwu, the regional editor, South BusinessDay newspaper, and he's been breaking it all down, big stories in the world of business. So go on that break now, and we'll be back. And I mean, you hope you can drop your messages on WhatsApp. Yes, 0809 030 6416. That's the WhatsApp number. And at some point, the phone lines will be opened as well. And we'll talk. Okay, we're live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. Drop your comments there if you have one. You've heard him analyze some of the stories. So drop your comments there. And when we get back from the break, we'll talk some more. Stay tuned. Yes, we are back on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Yes, talking figures right here. I am Choma Ezenwafo, and we've been looking at the biggest stories in the world of business. We've looked at about 2 stories. And before we went on that break, my guest, Mr. Ignatius Chukwu, who we know as a regional editor South in BusinessDay newspaper, was analyzing some of the stories, and he just finished talking about the CBN and their decision to keep the funds in dormant accounts of banks for safekeeping. And I just narrated how we've seen situations where money's disappeared in dormant accounts. And you are going to actually explain something. Let's touch on it a bit before we now take the final story in Market Watch and then get into insider tips to look at the big story.
No, it's not much. Again, just to say that taking it for safekeeping does not mean denying the owners. It means any year you wake up and reactivate your account, they will now file claim to CBN. CBN will return it.
Okay.
It looks okay if that is exactly what
is going to happen like that and not enter voicemail, right?
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's look at the final story on Market Watch. A former Minister of Education, who we know as Obieze, has called for an independent audit of why the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, the NNPCL, capped its investment in Dangote Petroleum Refinery at 7.2% instead of the planned 20%. Do you think so? Do you think that there should be an independent audit of NNPCL's decisions?
They call for anything forensic, anything independent. Those calls are a reflection of the fact that we no longer trust our institutions.
Yeah.
Remember when the former CBN governor, Sanusi, when a former CBN governor, a former managing director of a big bank, when such a personality comes out to say, Nigeria's number 1 oil dealing company and regulator, when he comes out to say they are lying, my dear, such voices carry weight. So if such a person it's only in Nigeria where if such a person says you are lying, nobody will resign. In other places, such indictment can make somebody to resign. So, but here, we laugh over it with a cup of coffee.
And forget the following week.
And forget. So, the call that it should be that for long, everything from an NPC has been controversial. So, many years ago, we used to ask here that why is that when an NPC wants to run employment, you must have a first class before they will employ you. I asked myself, if all Nigeria's best first class are working in the NPC, but we don't know how many barrels of oil, our figures don't add up when first class mathematicians are adding them. So those of us who had a P8 in mathematics, and they won't allow us to come near the gate.
You just say P8.
So what is the first class all about? When figures from an NPC has never added up, they have never added up. So I want to say such calls are an indictment. No single Nigerian trusts that figures that are coming out of an NPC are genuine. That's the problem. Even when they are genuine, I don't think we believe. So when confidence is not there, when people, say, if you watch all global measurements, they measure perception. Perception means what people think. Perception does not mean the reality. So if they do a perception rating on you, it is what people think about you, which means what you really are may not be important.
Yeah, truth and opinion. Yeah. But perception matters in business.
So that's your credibility. Your credibility is what people think about you. So if important people continue to think like this, continue to call for independent, it means that the NNPC auditor's report is no longer trusted. And yet, if you hear how much they will quote per year that report took to compose, to do, the best audit firms will come and do it, and it is a report we don't trust, no matter what is inside. We don't even read it because we won't believe it. So something is wrong. Credibility, when such important institutions that govern us, you see all the stench coming from the CBN, they may think they are destroying Emefiele. What I mean is, Emefiele did those. If he did those, it's wrong. The court is right. But you see, the meaning that a system that allows an individual to do that and get away with it
It's faulty.
That is the problem. My problem is not Emefiele. My problem is a system that allows an Emefiele to do that and get away with it. That system is my fear. Which means if a good man comes to CBN, the right thing will be done. When a bad man comes, there is no systemic checks and balances that will make it impossible for him to do a thing like that. So who knows who else will come and what the person may do.
Interesting. Now that really wraps up Insider Tips for now. As we get deeper into the whole Dangote situation, really, when it comes to where are we with all of this, and what's going to happen next? The story is still on. In case you're wondering what the story is about Dangote refinery and the efforts to have this refinery start, and how the NNPC at some point pulled out, and then the NDPML, right, said that they made some claims. The Director General made some claims which particularly faulted the products that's coming out from the refinery. And right now, Aliko Dangote has made quite a lot of media appearances trying to refute, claim, lots of debates as to whether or not his actions or plans about the refinery is really for the best interest of the economy, because he's been accused of being a monopolist, and he's come to say, I am not. And so our question today on the show is very simple. Free markets, monopolies, capitalism, what's in the best interest of a nation's economy? What's the best marketing system for a nation? And that sets the stage for this segment, what we call Insider Tips. My guest is still here and is still talking figures. And yes, you get to join the conversation as well. We are live on Facebook. We are also live on YouTube at Nigeria Info PH. Drop your comments there. You can also watch us live there. Like I said, we're live. And yes, you can drop your messages on WhatsApp at Nigeria 0809 030 6416. That's 0809 030 6416. That's the WhatsApp number. Please do not call that number. Just send messages. Yes, the phone lines will be open shortly. But first, let's hear from our guest. When you think about free markets, monopolies, capitalism, is there something that we should can there be a balance? Can we have, which one should benefit Nigeria's economy at this point?
You can't run away from what's happening with Dangote. Nigeria has, during SAP, Nigeria had been running a system where government had rights to own businesses.
Yeah.
So during the structural adjustment program, SAP, of the Babangida era, with the backing of the IMF, they said, okay, since Nigeria was going into debt, let government pull out of business and they create a free market economy so that people can invest freely, own. By that time, you had no right to own 100% of investments, public investment. But now that's okay. You have right to own, or you have right to repatriate, you have right to do this. So they call it liberalization.
Okay.
So they opened the windows of investment and all of that. So, and we are on it. The issue is, for Nigerians to understand what you're talking about, they have to relate it to a particular investment. So, it is government that issued refinery licenses. And if you remember, Obasanjo issued 20 licenses for refinery. The licenses were dormant until Goodluck Jonathan came and issued late license, and it went to Dangote.
Okay.
So, which means licenses were given. So we could talk about almost 30 licenses.
Okay.
So we were saying, why didn't the other ones build? The other ones said, look, we cannot get loan to build. The license is one requirement. The second thing you will need to you will show the banks your license. You show them, if we buy crude oil at so price, refine it and sell it at so price, we make so profit. That means you have a bankable business report, right?
Yeah.
They say you can't write that report if Nigeria was still subsidizing fuel. It means you will produce at high expenditure and you will sell it at government controlled price. there will be no profit. So whenever they table the paper to any bank in the world, they refuse to fund it. They claim that was why they did not know refinery. The licenses were lying idle. So all of us continue to wonder what gave Dangote the lever to build the refinery. Then the hint came out that the understanding with the federal government then being Goodluck Jonathan, the understanding was that as soon as he was ready to push fuel into the market, then federal government will remove subsidy. Because removing subsidy, so he didn't have a bankable report, but he had a bankable understanding. We said, go ahead and give us a loan. When the fuel is about to come into the market, they will remove subsidy. And then the fuel will sell at its own, at how it likes, to be a free market for fuel.
Yeah.
So it never happened. They kept building and postponing and building until before he will produce, before he will refine, a subsidy was removed, which matched his expectation, which is okay. So some of us who are watching this celebrated it, so that the private refinery, private fuel can enter into the market without anybody telling you how much to sell and all of that. Now, the good thing that we were celebrating for was that, this person will refine 650 barrels per day.
Yes.
So if we produce 1.8, he alone will take 650. So which means what we are going to sell to OPEC gave us 1 point this. So when you remove this, so Nigeria will now be comfortable. That will now give us right to produce up to 2.4 million. So we were happy. So what I'm trying to say is that when the licenses were given, the 20 licenses were given, when the 5 more licenses were given, did anybody say the owners should not operate alone, that federal government must buy share into them? So what I'm trying to say is that in a free market economy, what the government does is the regulator, you lay all the policies. You don't sell license to me with one law. When I'm about to bring out fuel or bring out product, you slam another law on me. So suddenly we heard that the federal government was going to buy 20%. Nigerians accused government of trying to pump money to Dangote. We thought it was about it. Now suddenly, federal government now
backtracked.
Now says that the thing now is 7 point something. So argument now is now coming into the money NNPC paid. Does it amount to 20% or does it amount to 7.2%? So all of that now, the debate has now shifted from fuel coming out. We have now shifted to percentage of ownership, percentage of share, and other things, monopoly and no monopoly. And arguments the ordinary Nigerian doesn't understand and is not what he wants to hear now. What the ordinary Nigerian is expecting is that for whatever, whether it's by providence, by luck, by mistake, that Nigerian fuel will come out and reduce cost of importation of fuel and conserve foreign exchange. If there is anywhere there and if a man and a woman come out of a room quarreling, do we know what happened inside? Don't involve me. I know the area. So Nigerians don't want to understand what's happening in the bedroom between Dangote and government. Because over the years, Nigerians have been suspecting that Dangote has a bedroom relationship with governments. Okay, I don't want to get into that. Speculate. That's market square speculation. I don't want to be part of it.
Yeah.
But so when these two darlings are now quarreling in public, dancing naked in the market square, you want the ordinary small picking now to understand what happened between Papa and Mama in the bedroom.
So it's a don't distract us situation.
Don't distract us. Get us to Dangote fuel. Get Port Harcourt refinery to pump local fuel. That's what Nigerians want to hear. My brother Tinubu, let Nigerians are not interested in any quarrel. What they want that let fuel come out. Let us see whether for a truth, for once, whether the local fuel in the market will reduce cost of fuel. And if it reduces cost of fuel, number one, you conserve foreign exchange, which will not help Naira to appreciate. Number two, you now inflation will come down, which will make people to breathe. Brother Tinubu, make us breathe.
He's president.
Let us breathe.
It's President Tinubu, by the way.
It's my brother. I call him brother because I want big.
Okay, so that's a very interesting analysis there. Yes, it's still talking figures on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Our guest is Mr. Ignatius Chukwu, and he's been breaking it all down, give us a background, bringing it up to the very current situation. And in case you're wondering, I bought fuel 825 naira per litre just now before I drove into the studio, and that's realize are open. What are your thoughts? 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003. Those are the phone lines, and you can call now. The question is very simple. What's in the best interest of a nation's economy? Free markets, monopolies, capitalism. What's the best marketing system for our nation at this time? The phone lines are open, and of course the WhatsApp message. You can send WhatsApp messages as well. 0809 030 6416. That's 0809 030 6416. That's the WhatsApp number. And now the phone lines are open. So, and we're also live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube. And I'll be reading comments at this time. Let's see. We have one here on Facebook. I have one here by Festus. Says, good afternoon, Madam Choma. The issue of monopoly in the economic sector of Nigeria seems very dicey because over here, our capitalists use the opportunity to undermine those whose business are still finding the air to breathe, let alone to get let alone get to the upper level. We can see how the likes of Dangote, you know that this thing is very wrong, Oga. This thing is too long now. The show is almost finished. Come on. But thank you so much for your messages. That's actually the much I can take. Let me get to the full stop. Let's see now. Where did I stop? Complex sentences. All of this one sentence, no full stop, really? Okay, so he says the issue of monopoly in the economic sector of Nigeria seems very dicey because over here, our capitalists use the opportunity to undermine those whose business are still finding the air to breathe, let alone to get to the upper level. We can see how the likes of Dangote has sent other of their competitors out of business over the years and has been the major conglomerate in the business world. Someone give me water. Thank you so much, Bye Festus, for your message there on Facebook. Let's go to WhatsApp now. Have I opened WhatsApp? Is WhatsApp open? Let me see. Okay. Anyways, let's go to the phone lines while I sort out my WhatsApp. I have Nathaniel calling in from Bonny. Hello, Nathaniel. Good afternoon. Thank you for calling. Have I picked your call? Yes, I have. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. To your great Ignatius, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much. I do enjoy you anytime you come into the show because you are this to the understanding of even the least man on the street.
Thank you.
For me, I think government has no business in business. What is the interest of government in the oil sector? The NMPC we are talking about, I think they have not let everything open. We don't even understand what they're doing. All of them are just there. They are just chopping the whole money that belongs to everybody. And they misappropriate everything. For instance, the issue of Dangote and oil. Why not allow this man to operate? You gave him the license. Allow him to operate. Give room to other licensed individuals too, who can come in through and operate and allow the market to be free for everybody.
Okay.
But from the way things that it is now, it's like the cabals in the system, they only want the oil to be imported into Nigeria so that they will still be having some of the gains and then suffer Nigerians. The way we buy oil in Nigeria, when I mean oil, I mean fuel. Nobody is happy about it. And we believe that as soon as the Dangote refinery come on stream, and also some of the refineries like the Warri refinery and Port Harcourt refinery, it will force the market to calm down. But from the way we are seeing, government and cabals don't want this. And that is why we see all the shenanigans and all the foul play accusing Dangote of doing this, of doing that, so that they will keep on delaying everything. And everybody is not happy. I think government, and including Tinubu, should do something about it. Thank you very much.
All right, so Nathaniel from Bonny there, thank you so much for your call. I have Braid from my one. Thank you for holding on. Thank you, and welcome to Talking Figures.
Yeah, thank you very much. Ignatius, Chukwu, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Yes, I think for me, we really needed Dangote fuel. The problem I see there is the IOCs, the World Bank, and the MF, and Mr. President, who is the Minister of Petroleum. They are very happy. Nigerians are going through pain. The pain Nigerians are going makes them so happy. If not, tell me, before giving them certificate to fuel refinery. They should be able to understand that there should be XYZ agreement with them. Why now that Dangote want to bring out the fuel?
Okay.
The fuel is not good here and there, back and forth. I think now the average Nigerians need Dangote fuel to come out, also need Port Harcourt refinery to also bring out, so that we will now know that the fuel in the market can come down, or it will also reduce the market prices. So that is the bottleneck we are having. We are not happy buying fuel like the person in the studio said before she comes to the studio, she bought fuel. It's pregnant. And that is very outrageous. It will reduce landing costs. It will also reduce our dollar rate. The IMF is afraid that they will import the fuel and they will come to get the crude here and go with empty vessel. That is not that they are not, but they are happy that Nigerians are suffering, struggling to get the fuel, paying very serious to their.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Brave called in from my one. I have Victor from Mile 3 calling now. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Talking Figures.
Good afternoon, man. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
All right. I find it difficult to accept the way Nigerians behave, especially our leaders. You cannot build a refinery. Someone built one. Now you automatically have the right to now question the person's product. Whereas this person has actually gone through all the certifications required. You can't build anyone. Somebody built one for you. You can't even allow it to come to stream. I don't believe it. My suspicion is they are trying to stifle the young man so that he will definitely then come on, and at the end of the day, he will begin to spend excess money trying to settle the cabals that we've always known. At the end of the day, Nigerians can never be free from buying fuel at an exorbitant price. And that is why they want to tie him to, because if he come on stream and bring this fuel down, then how will our economy be? How will the politicians continue to milk us? So they want to keep us at a very high point. And that's just their plan. We are watching them.
Okay, Victor from Mile 3, thank you so much for your thoughts there. We have Daniel from Imo Gate. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Chinke Daniel Imo Gate Ozuako.
Welcome to the show.
Let me ask this question. On all this that we are crying, that the fuel price is increasing just day by day, can you please answer me? Are we still paying fuel subsidy?
He wants an answer.
No answer.
Because there's been a back and forth.
No,
officially, there's no subsidy.
There's a definite answer.
Okay, what is the definite answer?
There are definite answer that there is subsidy.
Okay.
Subsidy has been reintroduced to, you see, after removal of subsidy, the subsidy has been returned to cushion the difference. Not be said that there is
but
subsidy.
They denied it for a very long time. Have they accepted?
It is being pushed through an NPC.
Okay. You heard that, Daniel.
They won't tell you exactly the next step to match. Bua want to set a refinery in Calabar. My brother, let me know. There's a way, there's other things that I can let people know now that a lot we don't know. A lot, I'm telling you, it's under our cupboard that we don't know. Economy like that don't thrive.
All right, thank you so much.
Can I make a brief
Yes, please go ahead.
See, there was a time you people were hearing about the rumor of coup. Is there anybody who didn't hear about coup? The army denied, everybody denied. So there was a threat. When Jonathan removed subsidy, do you people know why he returned it quickly? There was a threat. There was a threat of coup. Not everything we hear. So when there was a threat, federal government, now what federal government did was, as the thing was increasing, the landing price of fuel at that time before federal government intervened was 1,200 landing. So before they said it was about 1,314. So and if they said it 1,314, say there's no subsidy, you buy at 1,500 per liter. It will not be about youth protesting and youth marching. So there was threat. And then what they now did was to find illegal ways of cushioning it. So we buy at subsidy one. Subsidy 2 is the one that makes it not for us not to buy more than 1,000.
Okay.
That's where we are. So if they allow fuel to go naked, you will buy it at 1,004 or 1,005.
Now the question is, why is the government not open about what you just explained?
No,
Because for a very long time, we had lots of oil and gas stakeholders in the studio who were very certain that, see, there's still subsidy. Because if it's checking oil prices and checking what's coming in and checking, you will not be buying that. There's still subsidy. And then the federal government kept denying.
So the removal, when dollar went up, you see, the subsidy price we were dealing with was when dollar was at the former rate. So when some of us were complaining that you would have managed the removal of subsidy and the removal of the windows of foreign exchange. So subsidy causes its own inflation. Then forex can cause second inflation. So the federal government could no longer survive it.
Yeah.
The price one was going even beyond their imagination. So they had to do something. Whatever they could do to make for the fuel not to go too high. So anybody who says if there's no subsidy, you will be buying at 1,450 minimum.
Well, actually, there hasn't been any official confirmation when it comes to whether or not there's subsidy. These are just analysis and these are just realities, but there isn't any official. The government is yet to still give any official confirmation on that. So I have messages here on WhatsApp. I just have about 3 minutes to read them. Let's see. I have one here from Chief Churchill. Churchill sent this in from Omagwa. He says, good afternoon. Should allow Dangote to operate, just as the guest has said. Their fight is not our business. Just get the fuel running for us to get all we need. Thank you for your message there. Can I take one more? Let's see. This one is from Evangelist Roland. He says, good afternoon, presenter. Capitalists can be the best system if the government allow merchandise freedom and following the advantages of capitalism. There's more efficiency in the capitalist economy as the products are produced according to the demand of the consumers. There's less intervention from the government or bureaucratic interference. Can I take one more? Let me try. Practical analysis from your guest, I must say. My question now is, how do we force Nigerian politicians to take his advice? Final thoughts now. Final thoughts. Thank you. That's from, he didn't put a name. Final thoughts, very quickly.
Okay, nothing than to say Nigerians, federal government, Nigerians know what's happening. Nigerians know that somebody said, somebody earlier said, Dangote, somebody made it possible for Dangote to get crude.
Yeah.
After that, Dangote imported crude. Then somebody now suddenly remember that the fuel being produced is not good. While the fire fuel is good. That's my final thought. So what do you think? Let's look at businesses now. Where does this leave businesses? What should they be doing? What everybody is afraid.
Yes.
If there's no level playing ground for large scale investment, you'll be scaring away investors, and not in support of crooks who are operating as business people. What I say is level playing ground. What are the conditions for a license? Allow the conditions to operate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Mr. Ignatius Chukwu, Regional Editor, South BusinessDay newspaper. And yes, it's been a very interesting conversation here on Talking Figures on 92.3 Nigeria Info. That's me signing out. My name is Chioma Ezenwafo, and we are live on Facebook. We are also on I didn't mention X. Yes, we're also on X, and at Nigeria Info is the handle. We need you to follow us to keep tabs with all of the stories from the business and otherwise. Yes, Talking Figures is been, and I hope you've had a good time. We're doing this again next week, Wednesday. Every Wednesday by 2 p.m. Talking Figures comes your way. We'll break it all down, bring it to you, fact and real. That's what we're trying to do here. Yes, Rivers Today is up next, and after that, Kalada will be here with hard facts. Stay tuned.